Hi there, we're the Cloud and CyberSecurity Expo at the Marina Bay Sands Convention Center in Singapore. And with me is Mr. Jonathan Andresen, Marketing Director for Asia, Pacific and Japan for Cloud McAfee. Thank you for joining us.
Happy to be here.
All right, I'll just go straight into the questions right now. Now, McAfee's been around for some time, so what innovations have McAfee ventured into when it comes to cloud security?
You know, I've been at McAfee for 6 months and I'm so excited to be here. We are changing from a traditional antivirus company to be a cloud and device company, a device to cloud company, essentially everything on your device in the network and to the cloud, protecting that whole connection, and a lot of innovation happening in our company today.
All right, that's great. Now, so when you say there's a lot of innovation, how much of AI does McAfee leverage on when it comes to cybersecurity solutions?
So McAfee is actually cutting edge when it comes to AI. We use machine learning to make sure that we can track the latest threats very quickly. By using the data and the ability of AI to analyze billions of events real time, we can really track and stop threats very quickly. It's very important.
That's interesting. Now, having said that, looking at the cybersecurity landscape and cloud security as well, what are the biggest threats users are facing today?
Good question. So one of the biggest threats we're seeing that we're focused on at McAfee is what we call cloud native breaches. And in the news we've seen some companies, large financial companies, that have had major breaches because they have not configured their cloud instance properly, and they have let millions of personal data out into the open. And that's because these types of breaches are very different. They're not traditional vulnerabilities. They're basically going after the misconfigurations or the S3 buckets, for example, in AWS, where there's vulnerabilities and we haven't protected the data completely.
That's interesting. Now, okay, just a few more questions for you. All right, now with the growing number of IoT devices in the cloud, now that's also becoming a new threat and concern for a lot of people. So how does McAfee plan to protect these devices?
So we already do. McAfee is known as being an endpoint vendor, among other things. We're very good at endpoint. We have new products that do endpoint detection and response, innovating in that space. Also helping companies with their IoT challenges. There are more and more devices connecting to the internet today, and they're not all secure. We need to make sure there's consistent security across all those types of platforms. So McAfee, we're spending a lot of time with our customers providing an end-to-end solution, which includes IoT and mobile devices in a single platform for protection.
All right, now my last question to you, I mean a bit more tricky, but VMware, they just bought over a cybersecurity company and they're venturing into the business as well. And in fact, one of their VPs said McAfee consider you guys as a fossil, and one of the reasons why they are venturing into cybersecurity. So what's your take on this actually?
I studied history in university and I love history, and the fact is we've got such a great background in security at McAfee, over 30 years where we've helped companies with the very beginning of the computer industry to help endpoint devices. So we have a lot of knowledge. So when it comes to security, I think other companies maybe they wish they had that experience, but at McAfee we're quite focused on the next phase, and that's as companies are moving to the cloud, how to help them with the new challenges around cloud computing.
I've just got one more question there. Now, since you said that, we also have a lot of new companies coming out in cybersecurity, new guys. Now, does McAfee look to work with these guys, or maybe look to acquire them should the right deal partnership come along?
So we work with a lot of companies day to day and as ecosystem partners, especially on the cloud side, to make sure that our platform works on their platform, that it's integrated, and we leverage their innovations. At the end of the day, we're really focused on the customer. And the customer, they want full protection, and that involves working with other companies to make sure we're working together and providing real-time updates and integration. That's what we do.
All right, sorry, just wanted one more question which is really curious to me as well. Now, you're in Southeast Asia. When you speak to your customers here, what is always they're looking for? What are they always complaining to you about?
The biggest question we get from CIOs, for example, is they don't know where their data is and what employees are doing with it. I mean, that's a big question, and in the cloud world, that's really dangerous because you don't know on a Friday night where your data is. The weekend's got to go by. You can't afford to have your company in the news. You want to know where your data is, and it may not be, I want to block all the data or block what's going on, but I want to know about it. And that's what we can do with our new solution around Envision. We help companies have full insight into all their cloud data in every type of cloud platform. So if they're running AWS or Azure, we can see that data. If they're running a SaaS application like Salesforce or Workday, we can see that. One platform, one pane of glass, one set of policies.
That's fantastic. I would really like to ask you more questions, but that's all the time we have. So
I have more time.
All right. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right.